Salvador, the education director. We're back with our next installment of talking to USK instructors and falling in love with them. Hopefully you know that my two guests today are both from Spain, the land rich in urban sketching talent. And the first one is Hugo Costa. Let's see if we can summon him.
Hey.
We've had some technical
difficulties. Hey,
Hi!
Tripa, how are you? Hey, so nice to see you again.
Hi, Hugo. Thank you for joining us. I know you had a long day. You were out sketching and traveling with
sketching a lot. Yeah, I skipped sleeping. I skipped lunch. I skipped sleeping in order to party with them, and I skipped lunching in order to sketch. So, but I'm great. Apart of that,
it's the priority: sketching, partying,
and talking to you.
Yes, it's been a way to see you, which is already next month. We're now a little over a month away from the next symposium. Finally, going to be all together with our families. So, Hugo, you're bringing having some trouble here with connection, but please stand by. This is all live. This is all happening without rehearsals. So hopefully we'll get Hugo back. We also have Maru, and hopefully she can also chat with us. Let's see. Otherwise, you just have me filling in this space. But if you are familiar with Hugo's work, he does this amazing giant drawings. He does a lot of kind of panoramic rooftops. He's the master of perspective, and I hope we can get him back. There's some trouble here on the technical front. I am not at home in my studio, so it could be me, but let me maybe restart the live, and hopefully we'll get everything working again.
I don't know what happened.
Hey,
I don't know. Just okay. I'm here again. So hello to everyone that is joining. That's amazing. That's awesome. Yes.
So tell me, what are you teaching? What are you bringing?
I always teach. What I always do is try to transmit what I've been learning in all these 13 years that I've been sketching every day. You know, so it's basically it's like transmit this passion, you know, of sketching, and try to transmit all these things that I've been learning. But in particular, this workshop is called Panoramas and Values in a City Corner. I love city corners, and basically it's like diving in a city corner and trying to transmit what is happening all around us, but like playing with perspective. Okay, I always tell my students that perspective is totally fake, is a lie. No, we don't see it like that. In fact, we move our heads and see what is happening all around. So these panoramas try to do that, no, to transmit what happens while we are looking in a corner, and put all of that, like different perspectives in one drawing. I like to be really close, as close as possible, in order like to enhance this fisheye feeling, you know what I mean? You know, I have a lot of examples here. Maybe it's better not to illustrate that.
Yes, but it's fascinating. I'm still trying to process when you said that it's all
Yeah,
fake.
perspective is all fake. It's the best way you have to represent space, but it's all fake. You know, you don't see like that. You know, you don't see perspective is supposed is it's supposed you are supposed to look only with one eye like this, and you don't look like this. No, you have two eyes and you do like this. You know, so that's what I
Okay. How, how do you approach
how
it?
do
How
I
do you
know?
teach it
What
then?
I tell to my students is they have to learn the rules, you know, and then after learning the rules, they can confidently play with them, you know. So, but first we
Okay.
have to know the rules to play with them. You know? So that's why I love these like wide
Show
wide
us.
panoramas sketchbooks. No, I love to. The,
Can you lift it higher
yeah,
so that they're above the, yes,
okay.
they're,
So and what
oh my God.
I love to sketch big. So what I like no kind of discovered by instinct is that these sketchbooks are a little bit heavy, you know, to carry around. So while I was sketching in New York with my bicycle, I had to carry all my gear around. So what I started doing is like only carrying like 2 or 3 sheets of paper, you know, and a
Okay.
foam base, a light foam base, and like that I can have a big sketchbook
Mm-hmm.
that is that is really really light, you know,
What's
just like that.
I what size this
Yeah,
is?
these
Is
those
this
are two
A4?
A4, a little bit bigger because it's American size. Okay.
American,
Yeah,
the
and
biggest.
of course you can also do that in that is New York City. This is Oporto. What kind of tweaking? This is Oporto. Okay.
Okay, so you sketch on location
Mm-hmm.
on loose sheets, and but then kind of put them
Mm-hmm.
there.
This is Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And the thing, so those are the small ones, you know, because those are the small ones
The
because usually I do them in A3 size. That it's
oh
impossible
wow.
to put them here on the camera.
Can
Okay.
you,
And of course, if you
yeah, and just
carry like
putting it.
this would be like a super heavy sketchbook, you know. So that's a way of
Mhm.
carrying, like going light. And but the thing is, I was not happy with doing like two, so I started doing 3 and 4 and 5, like big ones, like these. You know,
Oh.
there are some that are even bigger. You know.
Hugo, I think you need shower
Sorry?
curtains.
Yeah, I need a wider camera, no? Uh, yeah,
You need
yeah,
a
the,
shower
yeah. These
to
these
just.
drawings, the when I post them in Instagram, they kind of lose, no, the scale, no, because they need to see them to see them real. But the thing is not only about panoramas and sizes and carrying light stuff. It's also that's why it's called panoramas and values. You know, it's also trying to understand what we are seeing and looking. That's why I like to be close, really close.
Mm,
And one thing I tell also to my students is just stop drawing by memory. You know, don't. So that was one of my tips. I was thinking is don't please don't stop drawing by memory. Like I have this example here. Like everything that can happen in a simple window. Uh,
mhm.
it's almost a poem sometimes. Everything that and the, and I don't know if you remember when I started sketching, we for us a window it was just like a black stain, no? But the more you sketch, the more you see, and then there are layers that start opening, and then you start seeing the reflections on the window, no? And the reflections of and then you start putting like two values, but then you see that no, we use like 3 values, 4 values, no? And suddenly like the main subject of this whole panorama is the window, no? So it's also the one of the goals of this workshop is like going like from this big and also to the little details that are close to us, and that are like
Mm-hmm.
that are mainly these simple details sometimes are the main feature of what we are sketching, and like I told you, sometimes they can be a poem, and then when we look and look and look, we start seeing things in a different way, and life is more beautiful because we sketch. Isn't that true?
So far, to summarize, perspective is fake. Look closely, don't draw
Yes.
from memory. Window
Mm-hmm.
is a poem.
Yeah.
And did I miss anything
And life
else?
is more beautiful
What
when
other?
you sketch.
Well, yes, of course. So, are you in your workshop? Are you going to be drawing on a super large format
I
with your
was thinking
students?
like in a medium one because yeah, I must admit that these large ones they take a lot of time. But anyway, what I usually do in my workshops is that students can work on then after the workshop also. But those I try to do those like to A4, and we can do that in a workshop time. Okay, so
2 A4s in one workshop.
those we can do it in a workshop, like two A4s in a workshop. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You hear it?
Sorry?
Challenge. 2 A4
Yes.
workshop. I'm
I'm not listening very, very well. It's like no. I don't know if you are hearing me
uh,
well.
I'm saying that prepare to
Oh,
be challenged
no,
to your
no. You just have
students.
to
Yeah,
practice a lot, you know? It's like the only difference between I always tell that also the only difference between me and the students that will be there is that I have like 10,000 sketches more than them. It's the only difference. No. I promise I will take some sketches when I was a student so they can see
yeah.
like it's not like it's just hard work and passion, and yeah, it's that.
10,000.
Yeah.
10,000. Hugo, will show us, do a little
Hmm.
quick demo, and maybe we'll take some questions while
Hmm.
Hugo is getting
Yeah,
set up.
I'll try to move this thing, my fancy new tripod. So, and I will put like it in my hand. Okay, and what I will do is like I was talking about New York. Can you see me, Rita? Maybe I will turn this. Okay, like this. Okay, is it okay? The light, or is it? It's a little bit. Okay, so
We can see
what
perfectly.
I'm going to do is I'm going to draw by memory like a Manhattan skyline, the Manhattan skyline from Staten Island. So I will start like by the 9/11 building, and then the Tribeca streets, and then this. Okay, this is the park where we get the ferry. Okay, I'm doing this by memory. Maybe I do some mistakes. And then there is this cool building that is the Frank Carey one. Sorry? Uh,
I think you missed
this
one
is the Frank Carey
skyscraper.
one that does like it's like twisted. Okay. And then there is a circle, one that makes like a circle here, like round one. It has some amazing reflections. And then there are the boring ones that are like here, that are from the 80s. Yeah.
From the
And
80s
then the
is usually the.
bridge, okay, Manhattan Bridge. Yeah. And then another trees like in the park. Yeah. And that's it. Okay. You asked me 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, that gives us an idea. So I noticed
Yeah,
you
I've
don't
tried.
lift your
Yeah,
pen. Is
even
it
when I'm now Now will to be the hard part to put it again on my fancy new tripod. Like whoop, like you can see a panorama of my studio and okay. Yeah, I try to not lift my pen as an instinct in order to be faster, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I tell my students that they should think on a skeleton structure before sketching. But when you do it very, very often, you kind of that skeleton on your head, you know. So you. It's like you have the skeleton, but not in your paper, but in your head, and you are imagining it. So, and it's the way of being faster, and also challenging. You know, it's like also a challenge.
And your line ends up being really nice, smooth. So here we go. If you're just joining us, I'm talking to Costa from
Mm-hmm.
Valencia, and he will be a workshop on street corner panorama at our next symposium. So hopefully you'll join us to learn from Hugo. He says that he's only 10,000 drawings ahead of most of us, and that's the only thing he says
And
from his
passion and
brilliance.
passion. Passion
Patience.
and passion. Yeah.
Really
Mm-hmm.
passion and
Yeah.
patience. We have questions for Hugo in the next few
Sorry?
minutes. I'm asking if
Ah,
folks have any
okay. So,
questions for you.
if there is no questions, there is this uh why people what is the I think you asked me about the urban sketchers the symposium, no? Um that it's like the time of the year when we finally get together, no, and can hug each other, no, because we talk so much like online, so it's really like magical to be able to touch you, no, and only to be with you and Maro, it's totally worth it, no, and and Maro is the best, and you too, and I was thinking, it's like. Um, I do a cycle race, you know, I cycle a lot. So, and I used to cycle alone. I like to cycle alone and I like to sketch alone. But when you cycle together, it's totally different, the feeling, because it's like I don't know. There is kind of something that helps you. You know, like you learn from the others, but it's like this. I don't know, like this thing that carries you and makes everything easier. You know that you think that is like 5% easier, but it's not 5%. In the bicycle is 30%, and in sketching is maybe more. You know, when you are in a group. So.
The joint
I I
and
still remember on
love
the last
that we bridge.
symposium where we were all like 30 sketchers sketching an old Citroen like near the canal. So those memories stand forever. Yeah. So,
Exactly. Ugo, we have a question. How to scale a sketch? How to scale sketches? This is from A Rambler. How to scale sketches when you're sketching
oh,
on
that's
multiple
what I was.
canvases?
That's what I will teach on the workshop. But what I do, I usually start with one sheet, you know, and then and I do
Okay.
usually the kind of a skeleton, or and then I put them together, you know. So I start with one, like the left one, and then I kind of finish the
Okay.
sketch, and then I put the other together, and I take kind of some references, you know, and then I take this apart and I follow with this one, you know, and then at the end, what I do is I put it on the floor, and then I put them
Okay.
together again, and I check, like I double check all the proportions, and I do like cross lines in horizontal, in vertical, in diagonal, to like to make things get together. I think it was kind of that the question. No, I think I answered what he was asking. But anyway, when you do a lot, you kind of already imagine what will be on your canvas. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it's always like that, like doing a kind of a skeleton and get the parts of one of the sketch and the others together, relating with lines, no, that can be sketched or can be like only imagined.
And when you say a skeleton, do you mean you do
No,
like a
never,
little pencil
never,
marks
never.
or
No. I never mix
never?
pencil and pen, never, because the best part of the sketches are those little mistakes we do, you know. Uh, I think the sketches tend to be soulless if you do that. It's my opinion, you know. I totally understand people that do, but maybe also because it's a little bit more challenging. But I do like to assume the mistakes, and they are part of the sketch. And I think a sketch is more beautiful if they have these little mistakes. And what I also use some little tricks that sometimes, for instance, I use the lines that are a mistake for other things that other lines that I will use later, you know. So I use those lines that were supposed to be one thing, I use it for another thing. The drawing is yours, you can do whatever you want of this drawing. So um, when I talk about the skeleton, I do the skeleton with the pen directly. Mm.
There were a couple of questions about what you
Mm-hmm.
use for your color.
In this workshop, I usually, well, of course I use watercolor, but on this workshop what I will be using and I use in this, that what I use on these sketches, okay, is I do the line with the lamy or with the pigment, depends on the scale, okay, and then I do the values with the gray and the black pencil. Okay, so I have two values,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the only time I use this plastic um, uh, brush.
Brush.
What I
Mm-hmm.
do is I mix the water and the gray in order to have different values. If I want the gray to be lighter, I mix with the water. Okay, so I have like that. I can have like 3 or 4 different values, and the black, and I also
Mm-hmm.
mix the black and the gray. So only with these two and water we can have like a really uh, a wide range of values. So also,
How many values, Hugo? How many values
at
should we
least
strive
3 or 4. At least three. That's what I say. And of course, and I always have like the red pencil brush pen, because usually I put like a little dot, a little red dot on the sketches. So those would be
for
like
red?
the basic tools. And also in this workshop, as the drawing part will be kind of um, uh, demanding, no? So as we are limited in time, so that's why I won't be using watercolor this time, this on this workshop. But when I have a lot of time,
But
yeah, or when I want, or when the subject is demanding some color, yeah, I use watercolor and I do this that I showed you before. This is watercolor, and yes,
is this in Porto?
yeah, this is
Can you hold
from
this up? Yes.
this is from
I
Estação de São Bento.
yes, I've
Yeah,
sketched this view a few
this is
times
like
too,
the
so I recognize,
this is the
of
classic
course.
one, the classic view. And there is the people. This was in a urban sketches meeting. So then this time nobody did it because
Mhm.
there was two buildings were covered with and then and I said no, and I thought this is the opportunity because they want to be covered for a long time. So I will sketch while they are covered, and then that will be more original, And I think I love
Yeah.
that that yellow, that whitish yellow, and this one is Nairobi. So Nairobi is
Nairobi.
amazing city to sketch. So in this case, that it's
Yeah.
also they are also a little bit smaller, and this is Monastiraki in Athens.
Hmm.
In this case, I used the lamy and the watercolor with the proper brushes. I used to compare these brushes with a foldable bicycle. You know, they are good for everything. You know, because you can put it, but not
It,
for, but they are good for everything, but not for riding on it. You know, so
yeah, it gets done. Well, Hugo, thank you so much for your time and for showing your amazing work,
mhm.
for answering questions. I
So,
can't wait to see you and to give you a big, and we look forward to your workshop. Thanks
yeah, looking for
again.
so thank you for inviting me and looking forward to see you. Wow, it's 1 month almost already. Wow, wow. Yeah, that will be amazing. That will be
It, it's
wow.
coming
Really
up.
excited. So
We're
Rita, bye bye.
gonna go.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Say hi to Maru.
um, I'm going to
Yeah,
try
so
Maru one more
I will
time.
close, okay?
We have, yes.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Hugo. Bye.